and deputy ministers, as well as senior government officials who are responsible for critical areas of our government. Cyril Ramaphosa's recent state visit to the UK by working together to promote inclusive economic growth. We are optimistic that our visit would lead to an improvement in the trade and investment relations between South Africa and the United Kingdom, and also between South Africa and Ireland, where I had an opportunity to go. We know that these relations somehow have been a bit stagnant for the past few years, particularly due to, amongst others, the challenges we faced after COVID-19 pandemic. The majority of our interactions since we arrived in the UK were characterized by shared interests in the following topics. One, the government of national unity, energy and infrastructure, and the measures we are taking to foster a favorable environment for trade and investment. I wish to reiterate that the political environment in South Africa is stable, particularly for investments, as a result of a number of things that we are doing as a government of national unity. The GNU, as we call it, has been operational for almost 100 days now, and its activities have already begun to yield results. Our numerous meetings with potential investors, particularly here in the UK, have revealed a shift in attitudes and perceptions towards South Africa, indicating an optimistic outlook from all investors. Our alliance, based not only on personal sentiments, but on the operations and the aspiration to enhance South Africa and also consequently the lives of our citizens. This will undoubtedly sustain the GNU administration for the next 5 years. A statement of intent based on our Constitution's principles serve as a foundation for the GNU. The GNU strategic priorities encompass, amongst others, the following: advancing inclusive and sustainable economic growth, addressing poverty and the high cost of living, and thirdly, strengthening our bilateral partnership in various sectors such as trade, investment, skills development, science and innovation. We will measure the GNU's success based on the amount of employment opportunities that it can generate. The number of business professionals and entrepreneurs we have assisted in establishing sustainable enterprises will also serve as a basis for the measurement of our success. The number of business owners and entrepreneurs we have assisted in starting sustainable businesses will also serve as a benchmark. Businesses hope to continue working with the government in the public-private partnership that, amongst others, so far has reduced and ensured that we put load shedding behind us. These partnerships have improved transport and logistics infrastructure and strengthened the national capacity to combat crime and corruption. Regarding the energy situation, The investors we met demonstrated that the ending of load shedding that began, as you know, load shedding began some time ago, but now that we have seen the ending of load shedding, this has really become positive news to the investors that we have met, and they have confirmed that it allows them to conduct business without being worried about what will happen in South Africa. The elimination of power outages, as many of you may know, was largely due to a series of measures implemented by the state-owned power utility ESCOM and the government over the past 2 years. Many of our power stations were quite old and they had to be repaired and serviced and so on. So a lot of units were taken out of operation, and many of them are now back in operation. We would recall that in July 2022, President Cyril Ramaphosa unveiled the Energy Action Plan, and soon afterwards appointed Mr. Ramokgopa as the Minister of Electricity. And since his appointment, he has been hard at work to ensure that we change the situation around. ESCOM also initiated a 2-year generation operational recovery plan with the primary goal of boosting the quantity of power known as energy availability factor. We have now agreed with ESCOM that the energy availability factor should be around 70% of the network's capacity. At the same time, ESCOM restructured itself, brought in new members in their board, and there's also a new CEO now at ESCOM. And all these elements have helped to change the situation around. Ladies and gentlemen, as we previously stated, one of the country's significant reforms in this regard is allowing the private sector, or private developers, to produce electricity. It is anticipated that the total capacity will increase by more than 9,000 megawatts over time, and there are presently more than 100 projects in progress, with several EU companies also actively participating. The successful implementation of these projects necessitates grid strengthening and transmission line expansion. At the moment, we are looking at extending our transmission lines by 14,000 kilometers. So huge investments are required in this regard, estimated by National Treasury to be about 350 billion rands. And so we are looking to invite private investors who have the appetite to invest in projects like those. Other reform areas include the implementation of several initiatives to boost the economy, such as rail reform, LNG import facilities, rolling stock leasing companies, and high-capacity automotive corridor, and the DCT Pier 2 container terminal in Durban. These policies aim to liberalize the public rail sector, boost the car manufacturing industry, and boost port operational efficiency. Furthermore, Transnet has teamed up with a well-known international terminal operator to run its primary terminal at the Durban port. Furthermore, we are addressing the obstacles in our freight logistics systems that continue to impede our competitiveness and undermine economic growth. We have created a sustainable and bankable investment pipeline of priority, credible, quality, and high-impact projects that span the country through Infrastructure South Africa. And some of the officials from Infrastructure South Africa are here to be able to engage with you. Infrastructure South Africa is a primary driver of the National Infrastructure Plan. During the week, we had an infrastructure focus engagement and had the opportunity as well to invite more investors to South Africa. We went to the London Stock Exchange, where we had the opportunity to open the markets. This year, we produced the South African Construction Report, which offers a comprehensive overview of investment potential in the country's infrastructure sector. The Minister of Infrastructure is here with us and will be able to shed some more light in the projects that are ready, bankable projects that are in the infrastructure book. This infrastructure book tells the story of our nation's future, primarily aimed at informing investors and stakeholders about infrastructure projects expected to be available on the market in the fiscal year 2024-25. As the Chamber, we strongly recommend that you get hold of this book. The minister is telling me that he's run out, but he's got them digitally now. So you will get the book. We recommend that you get it because most of these projects are ready, are bankable, and you'll be able to see where you can invest once you have looked at the book. I would like to thank you once more for having made this opportunity to be able to engage with us. And as I said, you will be able to get this book on the website. As I move towards concluding, I want to indicate that we trust that you will continue to work with us, particularly to ensure that we can attract more investment from this country. We want you too, as a chamber, to be able to assist us to continue to engage more investors, have bilateral meetings. There are also a number of companies from South Africa that want to invest in the UK. We want to ensure that opportunities are created for them to be able to do so. Let me also indicate that next year we will host the G20 in South Africa. We are taking over the presidency of the G20 now in December, and we will start making preparations for a successful hosting of the G20. We have given this message to all the investors that we have met since we have been here in the UK. I must say, as I conclude, that all the meetings have been very successful. We were well received, and many people are positive about our story. They want to come to South Africa, and they have seen us as the GNU, the Government of National Unity, at work. And it was good for them to be able to see the GNU with their eyes. that it exists and is doing a good job. We do have questions sometimes like, will the GNU last? Will it be able to go all the way for 5 years? And our answer is yes, it will. Because we have put as our foundation principles that guide our work. We have put priorities in place, and that's going to help us to be able to be focused. And really for us as a GNU, the priority is the people. We're elected by the people in this form. They want us to work together so that we can improve the quality of their lives, ensure that there's employment in the country, particularly for young people, that young people get the skills they need to be able to enter the job market. Those are our priorities, and we're happy to engage with you this afternoon. And as I said, the ministers are here, and the deputy ministers will be able to give you more of some of the things that we are already doing, but you probably will have questions about certain issues in South Africa. We'll be able to respond to those. So thank you very much for inviting us here. We are looking forward to engaging with you. Thank you so much.